All right.
The flags at Bronx Memorial were removed.
All right. All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the June meeting of the Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs Committee of Community Board 7. I will start off by reading our committee guidelines. Okay. All right. This is Bronx Community Board 7's Parks Committee, and my name is Barbara Stronzer, and I am chair of the committee. On May 20th, 2023, Mayor Adams issued Executive Order 411, extending the state of emergency through June 19th, 2023. Accordingly, boards are able to continue to act under the state of emergency section of the video conferencing law. This allows the board to continue remotely. Minutes and video recordings will be made available on our website. If you are calling into the meeting on conference, the following controls are used for a landline or a cell phone. To hear all available commands, enter ** on your phone, *6 to mute or unmute yourself, *9 to virtually raise your hand. We will run the meeting as follows. Bronx Community Board 7 has the right to remove and/or ask a member of the public to leave a meeting or block participation of anyone who engages in inappropriate conduct, including but not limited to obscene or offensive images or language, personal attacks, threats, or any other behavior that reasonably impedes the orderly administration of the meeting. Repeated offenses will be reviewed by the board's executive committee or any other assigned committee for a ban of the participant. The amount of time to be objectively determined by the above committee in the event of repeated disruptive behavior. If in-person outbursts or attacks continue, this will be considered disturbing the peace and the authorities shall be summoned. Everyone beside the speaker or presenter will stay muted throughout the meeting. After each presentation is over, I will inquire if committee members have questions. Committee members will signify that they have a question by pressing the raised hand button on the screen or requesting to speak through the chat or when the chair opens the floor. Members of the public who have joined through the online link will be able to ask questions and make a brief statement on the item after each presentation and after the committee has had an opportunity to ask clarifying questions. By pressing the raised hand button on your screen or request to speak through the chat or when the chair opens the floor. Only those recognized by the chair of the committee will be allowed to speak during the allotted time. We will stay on topic with the agenda items. Any other items will be acknowledged by the chair in new business or addressed in the next meeting, granted there is time and the committee agrees on the topic. Following the questions, discussion, and public comment portion, the committee will begin their discussion after each agenda item and will conclude with the decision to vote on a recommendation. When the agenda is finished, the meeting will be adjourned. If there are any questions related to the meeting software or to our process, please use the chat function or raise hand function now or contact the district manager. Okay, we will move on to attendance for our committee. All right, Barbara Stronzer is here. Tasha Andrews.
Tasha Andrews is here.
Thank you. Betty Arce. All right, I know Betty said she's coming back in a minute. Okay. Daisy Perry.
Daisy Perry present.
Thank you. Gwendolyn Thomas Steed. Gwendolyn.
Gwendolyn present. Gwendolyn Thomas Steed present.
Thank you. Ruth had another occasion tonight, so she will not be with us. And Toby Buford?
Toby Buford,
Okay, thank you. All right, we do have a quorum. Good. All right, the next item on our agenda consists of the minutes from last month's meeting. I'll put them up for you. All right, I'll go slowly through them. All right, we had information on the Tibbetts Brook daylighting project. We talked about summer staffing. We mentioned the PEP offices, and Joe promised to bring the sergeant back tonight, which we will have at our meeting. And we talked about some construction projects. We had a list of community concerns that people brought up at the meeting. We talked about the Memorial Day flagging. And we had reports on the Williamsbridge Oval Recreation Center. All right, any questions, additions? Do we have a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
Motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Okay, do we have a second on that?
Second, Daisy.
Daisy, okay, thank you. All right. Okay. Okay, all right, we'll move on. Joe, you asked that we bring up Sergeant Sanchez first. And he is the sergeant who's in charge of the PEP squad.
Captain Sanchez.
Captain, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Is he
Okay.
on?
He is on.
Cap,
Yes.
Cap, yep, Cap's there. The Cap's there. Thanks for being here, Cap.
Oh, good, you're here. Okay, thank you for joining us, and maybe you can give us a little information on what we can expect at our end of the borough regarding help from the PEP squad this summer.
Well, Bob, I just want to let you know that we've been on top of Mashula Parkway regarding the barbecue condition. We have been getting some calls up in Mashula Parkway, some 311 calls regarding barbecuing on the sidewalk. We have been addressing it. We also been having our increased patrols at Mashula Parkway. So we are addressing these conditions, and our first priority is Mashula Parkway. We know how the parkway could get, especially during the holidays. We are going to have patrols out for July 4th, and we're going to be working hand in hand with the 52nd precinct.
All right, thank you. And I know in previous summers, Captain, you had someone assigned to DeVoe Park, because there had been problems there and all. Are you planning to do that again this year?
The only thing we can do at this point, due to our manpower going to the beaches and pools, at this point we're spot checking in the morning and afternoon. We are aware of the delivery motor scooters that do go through DeVoe Park, and we have issued 2 summonses so far. And most of the motor scooters that we do stop are delivery scooters from different restaurants around the area. We have educated them, but it is going to come to a point where we're going to have to really conduct our enforcement and start issuing summonses.
Okay. All right, we have a few hands here. I'm sure there are questions for you. We'll start with the committee members. Toby, go ahead.
in reference to DeVoe Park, will DeVoe Park be getting any of the yellow signs that are on the aqueduct that are in Van Cortlandt Park? And I think I may have even saw some in St. James. Will we be getting them?
Will that be coming from PEP?
No, they'll be coming from maintenance and operation.
All right, so we'll hold that question till.
Okay, I'll
But
hold
hold
it.
on, just while you're on, Toby, I spoke with Clinton. We put in orders for signs for 7 and, for Clinton and I. So you'll see them up, we had to order the signs. They have to go up, but we ordered them.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
You
all
got it.
right. We
Oh,
have,
one more question. I'm sorry, Barbara, one more question. Will they be closing DeVoe Park like they have been in the past? Because sometimes it's not closed and sometimes it is. So is there a plan to close it each evening during the summer like they have been doing in the past? And that, I think, is PEP that does it.
We don't close the park at night. It's night security. They have their own security that close the park at night. But we do close on the holidays. We try to close certain parks that we know that is going to cause us issue later on. So Devo Park is going to be one of those parks that we are going to close for the 4th of July.
wow. So you'll do that at night, right?
Correct.
Okay,
Because we already know what to expect. We're gonna expect the individuals that play dominoes and stayed to 10:30 at night. The amplified sound late at night. So we are gonna close it ourselves.
okay, good, thank you. One other
Thank you.
question, have you received any additional staff for this summer for PEP? And what are your numbers right now?
Our numbers right now, due to the beach and the pool openings, right now we have 37 officers for the Bronx.
Ugh. Isn't that lower than usual? I remember you're having 50, 52. What's happening?
That's lower than usual. It's because our officers get promoted during the summer to the beach and the pools.
Mhm.
So that takes away from our boat patrols as well.
Oh, jeez. I mean, we as a community board always put in our requests for more PEP officers in our budget every year, but it seems to be a very slow-moving process. I have a lot of hands up here, so let's move to Tasha. Go ahead, we'll do the committee first. Go ahead, Tasha. Unmute.
Okay,
yourself.
I
Go
did.
ahead.
I was having trouble.
Okay.
I'm concerned about the number of scooters and motorized bicycles at the Oval. I've had to stop at every practice. I'm going to say for the past practices, we practice Saturdays from 10 to 2, on Mondays and Wednesdays from 6 to 8. I've had to stop at least 8 people from using the motorized bicycles or scooters actually on the field, going through across the field on the track. I try to ask them to go to the upper part just because we have kids who dart in and out off the field onto the side. But it's still, a lot of them, some of them are agreeable, some of them are not, so I just wonder what, I try to call whenever I see them, but by the time, I call and then I don't know anybody that comes out or anything like that, but it's really becoming a big issue.
Teacher, we have gotten calls to that location regarding the scooters, but the thing with that, I try to avoid the time my officers to chase them inside the park, because God forbid that they do see us and they try to run away and they injure somebody just because they're trying to get away from us. So we try to educate them and let them know that they can be in the track field, but we're trying to avoid and telling our officers to chase the scooters.
Okay.
And I agree not to chase them because I think that would cause an injury. But is there possible at least times where the Oval has a permit, where someone has a permit at the field, that maybe we can have some kind of presence periodically, like walk the field, do a round or just something. I'm not saying all the time, but there are times when we have the field is permitted to organizations, maybe during that time.
Okay, can you email me your permit, and then I could see if I could have units there?
I can. Can you put your email information in the chat?
Yep, will do.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
All right. Chad, you have a question? Go ahead.
Yes, hi, good evening, and I thank you for coming on the call. I actually have two questions. One related to DeVoe Park. What's been happening, we have motorcycle riders and scooters who are also teenagers who constantly ride their bikes to the basketball court area and the benches, and sometimes it's actually three of them. And my concern is that because they're minors, they're going to be quite reckless with the way that they're riding. And my question is, what can you do to discourage those folks aside from those making the deliveries in the park?
Okay, we have stopped a couple of teenagers. They were driving in through the park, and what we try to do, we try to educate. I don't think issuing them summonses is gonna help. I think the more we educate, the more they get to, the more they learn about scooters not being in any New York City parks or playgrounds. So I know my guys have been educating when they are on scene at DeVoe Park.
Now, and I have maybe this is a suggestion. Can the Parks Department, or can you raise the suggestion to have additional signage that actually prohibit bicycles, motorized bicycles, and the scooters from entering the park at the entrances? Something that could be visible, that has an image of a scooter or something where everyone can see it. Can that idea be entertained?
You know, so can I be honest? Any sign that you put up, I'm gonna bring up one park, St. James Park. There's signs that's posted that says no scooters, no vending, no, and you still see scooters going through the park. And there's signs all of the 4 or 5 entrances of St. James Park, and there's still scooters that go through the park. Some of them are just reckless. They just want to go through and just try to beat either the traffic light, so they go through the park. So, you know, I could always bring the idea to Joe and see if more signage could be put up. But if a delivery person or a teenager that doesn't want to stop for the red light is going to go right through the park to make it easy to go to their next location.
True.
But then if you have the signs, then you have the right to confiscate the bikes on the first offense.
Right, but we still have the right, even without the sign, we still have a right to confiscate, because technically no motorized scooter is allowed in any city park. But what we try to do first, like I said, we try to educate first, because not a lot of people know that scooters are not allowed in the park. So we try to educate first. And like I said in the beginning, it's gonna be a point where, because we issued 2 summonses already in DeVoe, there's gonna be a point where we're gonna have to do some type of heavy enforcement with NYPD and starts confiscating scooters.
Okay.
Got you. Thank you.
You're
On,
welcome.
Captain Sanchez, could you reiterate the process we can use this summer if there is a problem in one of our parks, and as far as reaching out? What's the best way? We hear 311, we know there is a phone number to pat. What would you suggest?
I suggest 311, because that will come to us faster as well. But we also have our central communication number as well that everyone could take down if they like.
Yes, go ahead, please.
That would be 212
Mhm.
274 4560.
4560. Okay, now is it best to do both? Call 311 and then give a call to that number?
That is awesome.
Okay, good. So we're ready for the summer then. Okay, we still have a few more questions. Let's see, who do I have? Okay, the committee, I think, has all answered or asked their questions. Marcos, I think you're next. Welcome back, I should say. Go ahead, unmute yourself and ask your question. Did we lose Marcus?
It's *6, Marcos. *6.
Okay.
I'm so sorry about that, everyone.
Oh, okay,
Is
go
that-
ahead.
Well,
The welcome
well,
back.
firstly, thank you for the welcome back, Barbara. It's awesome to see you again. When they let me in accidentally, I was like, oh my God, Barbara. So no, really, you have been a tremendous inspiration for me on this whole Mashula Parkway project that I'm working on. Let me tell you, but that's a conversation for another time. To be specific to the question, Captain, also thank you for your time today. I'm out on the Parkway and it's raining, so if you hear it's beautiful out here though. Anyway, I live on the Jerome Avenue side of Van Cortlandt Park. I'm sure you know the chaotic chaos that goes on over there. I'm working. I love the fact that you use the word educate, because I have been recently working on a project for like the past 6 weeks to educate the community on appreciating and preserving and conserving the parkway, which I have shared with the board, and I'm on the agenda in a little while, so I don't want to get too much into that. So I'm really excited to hear about what you and your team are doing on this side of the parkway. I was wondering, can we honestly get some help on that side of the parkway? Because as you know, like that accident, that whatever situation that happened over there, and I believe the biggest challenge, right, when people call, is that dichotomy of Jerome Avenue between the 50th and the 52nd precinct. When people call, but we definitely need extra support. And you guys have an absolute partner, I promise you, because I'm working on educating, right, the community as well, and some people have also already joined into the cause. So the question specifically is, can we expect some help on that side of the parkway? And the second part is, how can I specifically, because I also work in politics, how can I be a partner to you outside of what I'm already doing, right? Because it sounds like you guys are going to be short-staffed this summer, but the behavior is not going to stop, right? So how can we? I'm forming an organization with the inspiration of people like Barbara Stronzer and Elizabeth Quaranta, who, anyway, lead the effort in our area, right, to preserve and conserve our parkway. So how can I be a partner? That's the second part.
Okay. First part is, we've conducted 6 operations already with the 50th precinct to try to combat the loud music that takes place in the morning hours and overnight hours regarding these vehicles that be on Jerome Avenue. So we are working hand in hand with the 50th precinct. The captain at the 50th precinct is awesome. She's always willing to help and assist us when need be. The way you could assist is if you get any intel, anything like that regarding any things that's taking place prior to Parks Enforcement or NYPD, you could always give us a call or notify PD and let us know what's going to be taking place, so we could be ahead of the game. But like I said, we've conducted already 6 operations on an overnight to combat the loud music and the vehicles that be on Jerome Avenue at night to the morning.
All right. Okay, we'll move on to
Thank you.
the next question. AJ, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, I have 2. The first one, especially with Juneteenth coming up, is there anywhere people can barbecue besides Marshalloo? Van Cortlandt has a slave burial ground implementation in it.
You have Barretto Point Park that you could barbecue. There's a barbecue location all the way in the back of Barretto Point Park. You also have a location in Van Cortlandt Park. There's a barbecue location in Pelham Bay Park. So if you was to Google these locations, it'll come up where you could barbecue at.
Yes, sir. I think it's inappropriate. There's people buried there at Van Cortlandt. Also, the second one, oval and non-permitted play, specifically the tennis courts and football field, as the locals will get pushed out of these spaces really quick with the threats of a permit. But when asked for the permits or the specific times listed on them, they are never shown. What can the residents do to fight back on that? Thank you so much.
Okay, what you can do, you're not the only person that complained about that. What you can do is reach out to our central communication, the phone number I just gave to Barbara. And we will be dispatched to go to the location. And when we go there, they're gonna have to provide a permit. If they don't provide a permit, they could be asked to leave.
Yes, sir. Because thank you. I believe they have like 15 minutes from the time on the permit. And if they're not there, then anybody can use it, but they don't like hearing that from the public. So, but thank you for enforcing that. Thank you so much.
Okay, yes, they have to at least be there 15 minutes.
All right, do we have any other questions? Sirio, you're next. Go ahead.
You're muted, sir.
You're muted, Sirio.
Thank you. I'm so sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Was Pep involved at the altercation at Harrisfield over this weekend where they try to compensate sound systems and they had a fight with the police department and they sent 5 officers were hurt in the altercation over this weekend?
No, it was NYPD that was involved in that situation.
So they took the initiative then.
Yes, and you know, it's so sad that somebody could do that to a uniformed personnel.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, and I agree with Tasha about the Oval Park. I have watched your PEP officers outside watching the people drive by on the bikes and not react to anything. And that was at an event that we were doing for Easter, and I was very insulted by that people had bikes in there and they were even off the bike and they didn't approach them at all. So I don't know how you're training your personnel in the building, but they did not come out and be aggressive to protect the public. So I need to let you know that, sir.
Okay, was this inside? Was this the officers from the rec center?
Yes, but they were still in green uniforms. They were in your green PEP uniforms.
Okay, I just want to there's two difference. The rec center security officers, they don't have the police powers to stop anybody.
Then they should be outside the rec center. They should have been staying inside where they're supposed to be working then, and not be hanging out on the outside, hanging with the people. Okay, so if they're supposed to be hired to enforce protection, they should have been in the building and not hanging outside. What are we paying them for?
The reason,
so what was he doing out? What were they all doing outside, sitting on the benches?
The reason,
standing around.
Whoa, go ahead.
The reason why they were probably outside, their main focus is the outskirts of the rec center and the inside of the rec center.
Okay.
So they do the outside perimeter then as well as indoors.
Correct.
Okay. All right, I see one quick one from you, Chad. Go ahead, and then we'll do one more from Toby.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll hold it.
Okay, Toby, go ahead.
What is going to be the plan this year in DeVoe Park for the folks who come out there to barbecue? I know that you cannot barbecue in DeVoe Park. However, I do know that you can have your meal prepared for your guests. What is going to be the plan? Because every year people come out there with their barbecues and they've already begun. And what they are doing is literally, I watched them again, start the barbecue up and they nearly burned the tree again. So what are we going to do about that? Is there some type of pamphlet that goes with the permit for people so they know the do's and don'ts of the park use?
I don't think there's a pamphlet, but but the permit does state that they shouldn't be barbecuing. If they do have a permit, the permit is gonna be for either for them to have a table or for them to have a certain amount of people in the park if it goes past 20 people in the park. But if a permit is provided for them, the permit is gonna state what they can do or they can do.
All right. Captain Sanchez, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to be with us tonight. I know you're going to have a very busy summer season. Is there any hope that maybe you'll get a few more officers?
Barbara, I'm hoping because we really need them.
Definitely, yes. And we appreciate you spending the time with us and answering our questions. So thanks again for being with us.
Thank you, Barbara.
I'm going to move the agenda. We have one item from last month, and that's the repair of the pillars along Marshall Parkway. Joe is on, our manager for parks in our area. Can you give us an update on that, Joe?
The insurance company, it's still a matter of them getting the money so that we could we're doing the repair on our own, from what I last heard.
Yes.
The insurance company is gonna pay for them to do it on overtime. I'm sure everybody sees they're doing a lot of road work. They're doing they were actually near the pillars. I was there Monday taking a drive. They were actually putting the curb in. You saw that? So there's a lot of work going on. We're also getting ready for the pool season. So the Masons are taking care of all the pools. I think we got like a couple of weeks left. So hopefully give us some more time after the pool opening, just to make sure that everything goes smooth. And then
Okay,
hopefully
so we
we get
don't
started.
have to wait forever and put it into our capital outlay or anything?
No.
Yes. Okay, that's great, because we have,
No.
I think we have 4 that are down now due to traffic accidents. Okay,
Yes.
we'll move the agenda. Next item, you can stay on, Joe. Any updates on summer staffing and maintenance issues? Go ahead. Do you have any idea? Go ahead.
Summer staffing. What did we get? We got about 3 seasonals in, which was nice. A lot of our staff got promoted this summer to the pools, which is kind of, it's a little depressing for us because we lose people, but we're also see that we're doing a good job with the staff and getting them promoted. So we're kind of like even right now with the seasonals. So thank God we got the seasonals. I have the cutting crew. I have 1 cutting crew stationed out of WBO, 1 out of St. James. I think we've been doing a pretty good job with the grass.
Yes, I've noticed.
Yeah, I think we're doing a pretty good job with the grass, which is awesome. And yeah, that's it. That's it.
Joe, will the Webster House be opened this season? So your staff
I gotta
can-
check the capital tracker. I haven't been putting, because I go to like the when they hand over the site, when the contractor hands the site over to us, I haven't been put on any email, so I know it's not over yet. I don't know what the capital tracker says. I'm
Okay,
hoping
let
when
us know.
you got it.
Okay, that's good. Before we move on to questions and all, garbage collection. I don't see the truck. I see piles of garbage coming out of those cans that are on the parkway. And wonder how often anybody comes by to pick up the garbage.
Yeah, I actually yesterday at the end of the day, we did overtime to do garbage. Barbara, it's staff, like I said, so we're about even right now, which is good, because we'd be even worse shape if it wasn't for seasonals. So what we've been doing is hoping that we get to like bagging all the garbage and then getting it on overtime. We've been doing a lot of overtime. So
You know,
I mean, we try to get it every day, but
I know we need a faster and more frequent pickup because the one pail overflows after the weekend. And you have all this garbage on the ground and it brings the rats. It's bad enough we have a lot of construction going on throughout the board area, but it's summer and, whatever you can do to expedite the picking up of the garbage would be much appreciated. All right, I see a lot of hands up here. All right. Betty, go ahead.
Hi, good evening. Thank you. Joe, I was walking outside of Williamsbridge Oval on Saturday, I think it was. Oh, no, it was Monday. A lot of garbage on the perimeter. Is that getting taken care of? I mean, just all along around the perimeter of Williamsbridge Oval.
On the street?
Yes, on the park side. Yes.
Yeah, on the street. So
Yeah.
the sanitation does go by with a street broom, right? Because there's the alternate side.
Right.
But we do try to send our staff out when we have time to go and walk and take care of what we can take care of. Naturally, inside is the priority for us, the playgrounds and field and all that.
Understood.
So
And and then I saw that you had there's how's the pickup of the of bring your trash, that section right next to the whole place?
yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't had any real concerns. Have you seen it like
No,
in
no,
bad condition?
no, I haven't. And it was rather full when I went by. And again, I think it might have been Sunday that I went by that it was a lot of stuff there. And do the Parks Department also put their own trash there? I saw a lot of black bags, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, but as long as it's like black bags, but like have they been leaving, like say somebody walks by and they throw a wrapper, like that's
No,
you know
no,
what I mean? Like,
it looked somewhat manageable. I was just wondering, but it was kind of full, so I'm just wondering how often it gets picked up, that's all.
yeah, no, I mean our goal is every day to pick up garbage.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Are you still picking up the garbage in that truck, the small truck, and dumping it in the back of the truck as opposed to a garbage truck?
Only when we're having issues, let's say we're down a driver and we really need to get garbage up, but we've been staying away from that as much as possible.
Good, because I rarely see the garbage truck come through the area, and it's a waste of manpower to pick up bags and put them in the back of a truck and then have to bring them to another area and whatever. Okay, Tasha had a question about an It's My Park Day at the Oval. Tasha, you would have to get in touch with Partnership for Parks, and they will certainly give you the equipment and everything else you would need. You can find it online. All right, we have some more questions for you, Joe. Daisy, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. A few weeks ago, I emailed Barbara about mowing on the parkway. One side was mowed and the other side wasn't mowed yet. So just wanted to kind of ask, how often is the grass mowed?
Yeah, no, so what happens is you know where City Island is, there's across from the driving range, we have something called Borough Cruise. So Borough Cruise cuts the grass on Pelham Parkway and Marshall Parkway. So if you saw it like that, it meant that they were going up one side and then they were going to come down the other side. You know what I'm saying? So like they'll go up one side, come down, and it's only like 2 tractors. So you probably just caught it at a time where they were going up one side and they needed to come down the other. But it's on a rotation, so I think they're on Pelham Parkway now, and as soon as they're done with Pelham Parkway, they'll come back to Marshall Parkway.
Okay, so is it like every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks?
Yeah, we try to keep all of our grass on a 2-week cut schedule. Obviously the weather's been like really cooperating. Not right now. I see it's raining a little bit. So like the grass hasn't even really been all that bad because it's been so hot out. I don't know if you've noticed the grass is like brown.
Yes.
So we haven't really been in bad shape. So 2 weeks is definitely what we shoot for. It doesn't always happen.
Okay. Joe, I must say the grass along the parkway has been cut. It's looking a lot better than it has in previous seasons. So thank you for that. We have some more questions here. Marcus, go ahead.
Hey Joe, Marco Sierra here again, out on the Parkway. So really quickly, just to kind of give a visualization of what like the committee has been trying to say, I'm on the Parkway right now. This is what Betty is talking about. Do you guys see that? Do you see that, Joe? Like that's exactly, yeah, that's what Betty and Barbara are talking about. I also have that over on my side of the Parkway, which is Mashula Parkway North. I just want to be clear, you guys are doing a really good job at cutting the grass. I'm doing my part in getting the thrash up. Thank you, Elizabeth Quaranta, if you're on the line, for letting me know, for telling me what thrash was. So right, it's not a bashing thing. You guys are doing a good job. My side of the Parkway, Mashula Parkway North, is I see that. Is you guys are doing a really great job. I just want to say that. It's zone 1, by the way. The question was the garbage cans. I'm sorry. So yeah, just to show you guys, to give you kind of a visualization of what Barbara and Betty were kind of talking about. So yeah, I'll jump off.
Okay.
But thank you for the job that you guys are doing.
AJ, go ahead.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, Mr. Joe, happy Pride. We didn't get the Pride flag yet, but hopefully next year. But on the corner of Bainbridge and Parkway North, the billboard there has a QR code soliciting funding for a local 501(c)(3). Does billboard allow soliciting donations? Does parks allow soliciting donations or billboards and signs in the parks? Or is this improper? And who exactly has the keys or would have allowed this? Thank you.
I'll look into that. I wasn't aware of a
Okay.
donation.
All right, we'll move on to the next issue. I believe that pertains to.
Ma'am, Miss Lynn has her hand up. I don't know if she knows how to unmute.
I'm muted and waiting.
Oh, okay, sorry. Go ahead, Lynn. You have a question?
I have 2 questions, actually. And mine just follows up on what Marcos just was saying. And Joe, you have texts from me about this with photos, I think. We have 1 can from Gun Hill to the Gates Place playground, and we have no cans from the Gates Place playground all the way down to Jerome, to the benches at Jerome. Then there are several cans, but that can gets filled, I mean, a day, 2 days. And you know this, we've got to have at least 6 cans between Gun Hill and those benches at Jerome. And how do we get them? Do you have any suggestions? We'll pay for them. We'll raise money. We'll do anything. We want to have a campaign to get people to use the cans and not the ground for their garbage, for their trash. And we can't have a campaign if there's only 1 can between Gun Hill and the benches.
Good point. Joe?
Yeah, Lynn, I'm almost positive. I got you. Don't you remember? I had a few cans put out there.
And they got taken and put someplace else. That's what happened.
Yeah. Well,
And
no, but that's.
We have only 1 left over from last summer.
Yeah.
From Gun Hill to the playground, and none from the playground 2 blocks to the benches at Jerome.
So no, but you're saying they got moved. We didn't move them. We put them there and then they get moved. So we have to put chains on them again. And unfortunately, the chains don't always work for too long because people have bolt cutters.
Is there someone?
I'll have like 4 more. 6 is stretching a thing. I could get maybe 4 more.
Ideal, I always do. But
all right. Yeah,
4 would be
4.
great. I could
scrounge up 4.
Better than 1.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. On the other question, Joe, I've also asked on text to you, but let's ask. Here you are. I can ask you in person. What are they, why does it look like a sacrifice zone of some sort? What happened to the ground? And what is the plan for there's no life in the park, in the tree line, after the trees, there's a whole area that is, and I'm talking from Gun Hill to the front of 75 West, from 75 West to the playground. And then it's beaten, just brown, dead stuff. What is the plan?
So
the
that's,
question.
That's our next issue here.
all right, well,
Joe,
I
what
actually have,
projects, go ahead, Joe, are going on in that area?
yeah, so it's actually like really good for the forest, right? Like we'll call it a forest, right?
Please
That
do.
little area.
It
It's
is.
called, so they're removing so anything that was removed out of there was actually an invasive species. And that actually helps the natural area in a very good way. And they're actually building trails through there. There's a program and they're gonna have some nice trails in there, but that's what it is. The invasive species have been removed and they're cleaning up the forest. They're actually cleaning it. It doesn't look good right now. I mean, but that's, it'll look just fine. It's just the cleaning out process.
Okay. All right. Are there any other groups that you know of that are involved? I know Marcus is here to announce what he's going to be doing in the summer there. But I recall maybe about a month ago on Facebook, another group, I'm not sure if they came from Amalgamated Housing or someplace in Kingsbridge, and they were working that same area. And I'm wondering, is there another community group that you know of that works there?
No, it's not. It's actually led by NRG, which is within the Parks Department, and they're partnered. Barbara, we'll talk. I'll send you the
Information?
the information.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Now, Marcus, if you want to give us your information, since we're talking about that area, about what you plan to do this summer, go ahead.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. First, again, thank you, Barbara, for the opportunity to, present this information. You are a big inspiration behind it. Just to kind of give a little history, one of the first projects that I did in parks was when I first became district leader over here by Webster Avenue, your little area, right?
Mhm.
And you led that. So that was like the inspiration. And then Barbara took over. I'm not sorry. Elizabeth came in and she started working with you and just expanding the work that you were doing along the parkway. And, I'm kind of just carrying the torch and extending it out further. The project started because there was some construction going on in along Mashula Parkway North and between West Gun Hill Road and Gates Place. And they were doing brick pointing and the construction company, oh my God, Barbara, I showed Elizabeth, ask Elizabeth. They removed about 20 feet or 25 feet of tree canopy. It was the company that the landlord had hired, but that's okay because I'm a community advocate and stuff. So I approached them and told them that what they were doing was wrong because I've been in the neighborhood for 15 years and those trees gave me and my kids some coverage. They got belligerent. I picked up the phone. Long story short, I picked up the phone. I called John Zaccaro. He called Parks. Parks came in like 2 hours, fined them $10,000. You think they would learn their lesson? That triggered the project, which I named, which Elizabeth helped me come up with. It's called Mission for Marshallou Parkway, and I shared the posters with Carla. Thank you, Carla, for talking with me that day. It was very nice, speaking with you. And I said, you know what? We need great parks too. Like Mashula Parkway is one big, long parkway, and we just don't have enough advocates out here to help educate the community and, maintaining the parkway. So I started doing the work. I reached out to Parks, the team that covers Zone 1, and the Assembly member John Zaccaro was able to get them to come and cut the the grass because it was like a jungle over there. and then, but they didn't have the cleaning team. So I went to what you call it, Target, got some rakes, and I just started, all the work that I've done on the parkway can, it's on Facebook. I've been, documenting it and stuff, and I'm getting a tremendous amount of support, which I'm so thankful for.
Can you
So
tell us, Marcus, if anybody wants to join your group, when they should come, and do they need to bring equipment, or what the story is? Go ahead.
so thanks to Elizabeth, she connected me with the group that you mentioned earlier, that the Stewart Park thing. Yeah, that.
Partnership of
you know,
Parks, right.
I'm working on some political campaigns, but in between that, so they sent me the information, and I'm doing the research on that to establish the relationship so I could get the tools that I need, like more rakes and stuff, because I got the people. I got like 30 volunteers already. So it's a summer-long event starting July 1st, the first Saturday in July, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Okay,
And it's going to be every Saturday thereafter until September 2nd, same time. And we're going to go all the way down the parkway. And I would, I don't know if I think John or Joe is still on the line. Again, I would like to thank his team because they've cut both sides of the Mashula Parkway, like the north side of Mashula Parkway. They've done a fantastic job. So I just wanted to say thank you to him. Anyway,
Marcus, if they
all
want to
throughout-
come out, where do they meet you? Because the
I'm
park
telling
is
you.
a big place.
West Mashula, West Gun Hill Road and Mashula Parkway North. I'm also working with a vendor. We're going to have free fruits and vegetables for the entirety of the event.
Okay.
And I'm also working with the Board of Elections to see if we can do voter registration drives, et cetera, et cetera. Barbara, I would love to sit down with you to kind of flesh it out more, to work with the community board, so we can,
Good, it's a good start.
extend
It's an
the
area
flame
that we need
proverbially.
some help with, that's for sure. So I wish
Yes,
you the best
totally.
of luck. And if you have any more flyers, please send them to Carla and she can get them out to our mailing list. That would help.
Well, I did send them to her via text in both English and Spanish.
Good.
And it has all the details. And if you guys would like to add any details, because I'm really getting a lot of traction on it, if there's any information that you would like for me to add about the community board, I would be more than happy to do so, because it's really a good thing. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Best of luck to you. All
Oh,
right,
we're
we have
gonna make it
more
happen.
hands. Chad,
Lynn
come
is
on, go
actually
ahead.
one of my neighbors. She's working with us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Chad, go ahead.
Yes, hi. So a quick question, Marcos. Great that you're doing this. I want to commend you for that. We have students or teenagers in our neighborhood. I'm wondering, do you have something in place where you can reward our teenagers with volunteer hours so that they can use that in the future for any future endeavors, like when they go to college?
So really good question. I was working the parkway one morning. And again, all of the videos, you can see this on Facebook. So, because sometimes people just say stuff to say stuff. I was cleaning the parkway one morning, and the students from Clinton High School were actually doing terrariums. They were making terrariums, and I walked over, rake in hand. I'm like, hey, what are you guys doing? They explained what they were doing. I met the teacher, and we exchanged information. So what I'm planning to do, with anyone that wants to join, Elizabeth, Barbara, whatever, when the school year starts, I'm going to actually meet with the principals, because I am working with the group that works at Meg's Garden. So they already established there. So we're going to work together and do kind of like an educational forum right at the beginning of the year. Because what I do is I clean the Jerome side of the parkway when the students are out there, so that they can see that somebody from the community is cleaning the parkway.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, we have one more question before we move on.
I hope that
to the
answered your
agenda.
question.
Sirio?
Yes, yeah, thank you, Marcus. I wanted to suggest to you to reach out to the bid, the Jerome Avenue bid and at MPC's building. And also I wanted to let you know that my organization is working on the other end. We're down at Webster and Marshall Parkland, and we work from there and we go across to Bainbridge. We mostly work around there, the monument for World War I. But congratulations and welcome. And if you reach out to Elizabeth, you can reach out to me too if you want. I'll send you my email and stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, Serial. We have another hand, AJ.
If I may, if I just may address Serial quickly.
Yes, quickly.
Serial, thank you for your work. I see you. You inspire the work that I do too. And please reach out to me so that we can flesh out some other things, because there's a lot. I'm doing a lot of work, and I'm looking for partners. A lot of people are interested. So the more work that we can do together, the farther we go.
Okay, good. Thank you. Go ahead, AJ.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Are you formally going to work with the board or Friends of Marshall Parkway, or was that in their personal capacity, as with the conflict of interest laws apply to the members on the board? And since some members are involved with both, they would have to recuse themselves from those votes. Thank you.
Well, I'm working with, masters in the field like Elizabeth Quaranta, hopefully soon Barbara. But I'm also working on formalizing an organization, 501c3, right? It's I don't want to say the name yet, not yet for legal reasons. But the whole endeavor is to engage, educate, and empower the community to maintain the parkway. And you sound like you're someone that is passionate about community. You've been asking some really good questions. I've been paying attention. And if you want to reach out to me and join the squad, then I would love that as well.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm just trying to make sure the
too
board,
much.
I'm sorry, just trying to make sure the board stays in compliance with that recent comptroller's audit and all the regulations and rules. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Totally understand.
Thank you, AJ.
Barbara.
Being part of volunteer organization is not in violation of the Conflict of Interest Board. As long as there's no personal financial gain, none of our board members are in non-compliance with the Conflict of Interest Board. And I believe most of our board members are part of volunteer-led organizations who do this out of the goodness of their heart.
Yes, yes, ma'am, but
yes,
they are,
once there is financial gain, board members do have to disclose. They can't be part of conversations, but if it becomes a matter of a voting item for an organization that they belong to, they have to not vote. So they're not allowed to vote on any items, but they can still partake in the conversations and disclose that they are part of an organization. But as of now, no one is in violation of the conflict of interest.
Okay,
yes,
thank
ma'am,
you
if
for
I
the
may, sorry, 1 second.
clarification.
I believe since they're a 501(c), the rules are different. If you can just check on that for me. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll move the agenda. I have one more item for you, Joe, and that's the pickleball courts at Williamsbridge Oval. There was a request for some type.
Miss Lynn's hand is up. I'm sorry.
I didn't see it. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lynn. You have one more question.
Just really quickly, while I
Go ahead.
have a chance to ask Joe, I really do appreciate what's happened with the kudzu and the invasive growth. I think that's been terrific. I just would, is there some way to find out what the plan is that is happening? Like more detail about, people keep asking me, I have no idea what's going on. And I would certainly be interested in finding out.
Yeah, let me see if I could get like if they have like an information pack, like maybe like a mock-up of the trails
That
that
would be
they're
terrific. Yeah.
yeah, let me see if I could
That
get
would be
that.
good.
And the
Fine.
planting, what are they planning? Or are they just gonna like go wild again?
No, they'll put more native species in there,
Yeah.
and to like repopulate the gaps, and then it actually like helps the canopy. It's really cool. You'll see.
Okay. I'm
Okay,
looking
good.
forward to it.
Thank you, Joe. All right, we'll move on to the pickleball courts at the Oval. Were you able to get any type of a portable fence to block the area from the rest of the, yes, it is cement area where people are hitting softballs and whatever.
So a portable fence, Barbara?
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
like-
on the one side that's open to the rest of the area
Oh,
there.
so that the balls
They
don't,
don't lose their ball and they don't get hit running across that area to pick up the ball by somebody else's ball.
like I said, right now with the pools, everything's crazy. So the people who would be doing that would be, working on the pools right now. So let's
Okay.
see what happens when all that slows down, and then I could try to get something
Okay.
temporary put up.
Yes, something temporary would be great. Okay, we will move the agenda to capital and expense budget requests, a feedback form. We discussed some of the requests we had from last year and the answers that we got back from city planning. If you go to the email, or not email, but the address on the agenda, you'll be asked numerous questions about what you think the needs of our district are. I went on it and I, picked out what I felt were the needs, and I think each one of you should do the same thing. So if you have a copy of the agenda, please follow up. If you're not a member of the community board or this committee, you can still answer it as a private citizen, what you consider to be the needs of our area, and they cover just about every committee that we have. So please take a look at that. It's important that we know how the community feels about issues, and when we meet to set up our priorities for the next budget that we do, we will keep that in mind. All right, so if you have an agenda, please go to that area and you will see the form, and it's very easy to answer. Okay, next item is our parks recreation centers. I believe we have Sarah from Williamsbridge Oval on. Can you give us an update, Sarah?
Hello?
Hello, we hear you.
Hi.
Go
Yeah, you can hear me? Okay, great. So this Saturday, we have our Feel Free Art Festival. So it's bringing in different organizations and different artists throughout the borough, celebrating different types of art. So we'll have art like painting and collaging and comic book drawing. Then we also are having performances, including poetry, hip-hop performances, dance performances. And I know the weather is not looking great right now, so it is rain or shine. We'll bring it inside if needed. But we hope that this highlights the different kind of arts in the Bronx. Then we also have the following week is our Family Fitness Festival on Saturday, June 24th. It's our annual event where we do free raffles. That's always a highlight. We have usually bikes to give away and baskets for summer fun. This one, we're really highlighting sports and free activities and low-cost programs throughout the area to that people can join in. So if there's anyone who's interested in, tabling at those events or being part of it, you can reach out to me. I'll put my email in the chat. We also are getting ready for the summer. We'll have our summer sports experience program, really highlighting flag football and the soccer that's free and open to the public, and we have our events online right now.
All right. Will you be having tennis instruction as you have had in the past?
So we don't have the tennis, but the City Parks Foundation, they're the ones who do it, and they will also be out there during the summer. You do have to go to their website and register. I think what ends up happening is a lot of people end up on the wait list, but normally if you come, there's usually space that people can join in. And I think this season they're also going to be having track and field. So those programs, I don't know the exact days of the week, but usually it's between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
being on. All right, we have a question. Chad, go ahead. Yes, no? All right, maybe he forgot to take his hand down. All right, we'll move on to, I guess we don't have anyone on from St. James Recreation Center? Not tonight, all right. Friends group?
Barbara,
Yes.
sorry, Barbara. Yeah, that was my question about St. James, but if no one's on, then
There's no one on, no.
Okay.
Friends groups, we'll start with DeVoe.
Hi, everyone. Barbara, this summer, we were lucky enough to get the Playmobil for all 4 Saturdays in the month of July. And so we'll be having events, organized play in the park. We're also going to, Friends of DeVoe Park are also going to purchase some giant Jenga and giant toss across and tic-tac-toes so that the games can be in abundance. We expect that there will be face painting as well as painting out and playing games. We're also going to be doing something this year in the park for pets. We're in the process of developing it. And as I get more information, I'll share it.
Okay, and that's on. Very good. Thank you.
Okay.
Right?
You're welcome.
Any other friends groups out there? Okay, I think we covered just about everything. Our next meeting is slated for September 13th, and of course, it will be in person. June 19th will end all our online meetings, so all the other meetings for CB7 will be in person. The location will be announced at the end of the summer as far as the parks meeting is concerned. But even though we're not meeting, please, if you know that there's a problem in a park near you, if something isn't being done, call 311. You all have the phone number now for the Parks Enforcement Patrol as well. So use both of those, and hopefully we'll have a quiet summer. Well,
Barbara?
Yes, go
sorry.
ahead, Jen.
I know you took attendance while I was away. Can you please make sure that I'm marked present?
Yes, I shall. I put it down.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I will. Does anybody have any agenda items for September? Or I'm sure if I ask you by the end of the summer, you'll have many.
Snow removal.
Snow removal, okay. All right, anything else? Okay,
capital improvements in DeVoe to replace the walkways and the curbs.
okay, I think that's in.
That's
It's
it, I'm
in
done.
our last years, and we will just keep renewing it. And as with many of our capital outlay requests, the easiest way to get something done is to go to your council person and ask for funding.
How about if we, come September, Barbara, we might, let's do look at some of those capital and expense items, and then perhaps invite some of the reps from the elected officials, if not the
We can do
elected
that,
officials
yes.
themselves.
But it
to-
always helps if you go out and give them a call and, say, we've been asking for this and we have not received it. What can you do to help us?
Okay.
So I'd like to thank everybody for their participation tonight and your cooperation. And hopefully we will have a decent summer for the parks. And if not, you know how to get on the phone, please. And please, the community board office is open all summer. We have staff there. If you're putting in a complaint to 311 and calling PEP, please call them also, because they will follow up for you. So please use the resources that you have. All right, good night, everybody. See you all
Good
soon.
night.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Oh, yes, we need that. Do we
I'm
have a
sorry, I had
motion?
my hand raised. Can I just quickly?
Hang on. Okay, go ahead quickly.
Go
AJ.
ahead.
Yes, ma'am. For September, we didn't get the pride flag for this year, so can we get it for next June? Thank you
Okay,
so much.
we do have the pride flag, AJ. It was purchased. We have it. We're at the point where we're trying to get a place to hang it. So we're getting there. Thank
Yes,
you for
ma'am. Thank
bringing it up. Okay,
Very good.
Motion to adjourn?
okay, Betty, a motion. Do we have a second from the committee?
Toby seconds it.
Toby, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, good night, everybody.
Good night.
All right, good night, everyone.
Take care.